Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watch One, and thanks for logging on. Today, we're looking at the Oris BC4 Meisterflieger, 43 millimeters in stainless steel. You can see this Oris BC4 Der Meisterflieger on our website, watchyouwant.com. Purchase it there if you like, and if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. Now, I have to say that this one is by request. If I have a watch in stock and you'd like to see a video, I haven't made one, by all means, ask me on the comment threads or email me at tim@watchyouwant.com, because the bottom line is I love to take requests and satisfy the audience. If you're curious about something we've got, I can put it up here real quick. Now, the nice thing about this 43 millimeter Oris BC4 is that it's officially classified as a vintage watch by Oris. It's part of their vintage line, but it really isn't self-consciously vintage or modern techie. 43 millimeters across the round of the case. Now, it's an abundant approximately 52 millimeters from lug to lug, so it's got a full wrist presence, but it's got a completely distinctive look. Honestly, there is a little bit of aviation instrument here, but we're still a million miles away from either a true vintage tribute or something like a Bell & Ross instrument watch. Now, it's 14 millimeters thick, so it's actually fairly thin for what it is, and I'll tell you that the bezel adjustment tool, it's actually a little rotator that will move the bidirectional bezel. It's not as tall as you think. It only adds 1 millimeter to the thickness of the case, bringing it to a total of 15 at the point of the rotator. And I say this because the crystal is actually domed, so it stands fairly proud of the bezel and almost comes even with the rotator. Now, the nice thing about the watch is it's an easy watch to wear. The lugs turn down sharply and they sort of curve around the wrist. The case back could be a little bit more accommodating in terms of its shape, but I have no trouble getting this watch to sit securely and, in my opinion, quite comfortably on my 16 centimeter 6 1/3 inch wrist. A big part of the ergonomic success of this watch is due to the strap. Now, you can see that there are no conforming end pieces in the vintage style. That much is true to history, so they pull straight down and easily curve around a tight wrist. Moreover, the strap is of exceptional quality. It is calfskin, like a true aviator's piece, and it does have a vintage contrasting stitch. But it also features one of the best clasps I've ever seen, and it's a design that, as far as I can tell, is unique to Oris. Now, it's neither a trigger actuated, nor clamshell, nor, strictly speaking, a friction fit clasp. It features a unique vertical locking lever. The closest thing would be a Rolex Oyster clasp, current generation. It closes securely, snaps shut, so you know you have a positive closure, and it features a unique replacement for the conventional strap minder. Rather than having any kind of loops, there is a little clamshell that's built into the strap, and you can see how that works. That allows you to tuck the strap in and under once you've sized it to remove any excess and keep the watch strap and clasp assembly visually clean. Very clever and unique to Oris. Now, the dial itself is very much like an aviation instrument, but not quite. This is, like I said, a million miles away from Bell & Ross. First and foremost because the dial's a regulator. You can see that for legibility, minutes are favored strongly. Now, here you see the crown. I want to show you a cool trick. A quarter turn pops it out. So you have 100 meter water resistance with a quarter turn, and then a quarter turn, and it's back. There's none of the hassle and protracted struggle of dealing with the conventional screw down. This is a great system. I love that Oris makes it that simple to operate their watch. And you can see the regulator in action puts the emphasis on the minutes for the kind of at-a-glance legibility that, frankly, you'd expect from a pilot's watch. Now, if you're at least vaguely familiar with which hour it is, glancing at the time becomes a single-glance task. Now, the watch does feature full hacking seconds for easy synchronization to a precise reference time. You can see that at this point, constant seconds at 9 o'clock have stopped, and I can easily line it up to a quartz clock, an atomic clock, or whatever standard of reference I want to use. Now, you can also see, as I advance the watch, that the hour hand is at 3 o'clock, and everything moves in sync quite easily. If I want to quick set the date, the Oris Caliber 749 also has a quick set. Let me find the intermediate position. There you go. And you can quickly cycle the date. So with a quick set and hacking seconds and a nifty regulator display, this watch really has it all. But it has one more cool feature, because there is a internal rotating bezel, bidirectional, unlike any that I've seen. You pull this rotator, which is effectively an elaborate bezel control device, and with crisp detents you can turn it in either direction to set up an impromptu 0 to 60 timer by aligning the index with the minutes hand. Press it back down, and it locks the bezel in place. Now, it has a gorgeous machine aesthetic to it. There's a couple different finishing techniques at play here. I see polish, I see brushed surfaces, I see faceting about the lugs. It's quite an attractive watch, and to be honest, although it's visually related to aviation instrument style watches, and it has a little bit of a vintage vibe with the simplicity and contrasting stitch of the strap and the white on black dial, realistically, this is a look that's all Oris, and since the 2008 debut of the BC4 line, there really hasn't been much else like this. It's basically a class of one. Now, the watch does feature an Oris 749 caliber based on a Sellita SW220 on the case back. You can see it with its 38-hour power reserve, smooth bidirectional winding. As stated, it does have a quick set date, and it does have a hacking feature for easy synchronization. The watch does feature a sapphire display back, but it doesn't compromise the watertight integrity of the case to any extent. It does have, as mentioned, 10 bar or 100 meter water resistance, so about 330 feet. So swap it out to a NATO, and this one's good to go in the water. This is the all-purpose sports watch, a unique offering from Oris. The BC4 combines elements of vintage, elements of contemporary, and a couple that are entirely unique to Oris design. You can see this Oris BC4 Der Meisterflieger on our website, watchyouwant.com.